Good Shavua Tov. Welcome to Halacha Day, number 847. Halacha Day keeps the Yetzer Hara away. This is Gavriel Jacknin, and welcome to the Halacha Day show. Hope everyone had a wonderful Shabbos. We're continuing the laws concerning eating or drinking before the meal. So again, it's a little complicated, but in general, if you know you're about to eat a meal, so you shouldn't eat or drink before you eat the meal. And really, we're talking about when you're going to wash your hands because you're going to have bread. And generally speaking, bread covers all the food that you have throughout the meal, with some exceptions like wine, fruit. So that's why these halachas get a little complicated. But in general, try to avoid eating or drinking before you sit down to officially have the meal. If you intend to drink wine before washing your hands, even though you will not drink wine during the meal, nevertheless, some authorities hold, since the wine serves to stimulate the appetite, a little bit of an appetizer, it is considered part of the meal and is exempt with the Birkas Hamazon. So you're saying you made the Brei Piragafen, you had the wine, then 5 minutes later you wash your hands, you had bread, right? So now the question is, when you make Birkas Hamazon, the blessing after the bread and after that meal, does that Birkas Hamazon also cover the wine that you drank before the meal? And some authorities say yes, no problem. Others hold, however, that even if you drink wine during the meal, nevertheless the wine you drank before the meal is not exempt with Birkas Hamazon. Therefore, you should refrain from drinking wine before washing your hands, unless you drink a cup of wine after Birkas Hamazon and say the concluding blessing, ala gefen, which will also exempt the wine you drank before washing your hands. So the other authorities say no. If you had wine before you sat down to wash, now you're making Birkas Hamazon. No, that's not, the Birkas Hamazon is not going to cover that blessing of the wine that you made earlier. And therefore, what you need to do is you should drink some wine after Birkas Hamazon and then make a separate after blessing, which will cover the wine you just drank as well as the wine you drank before sitting down for the bread. Hope you got that. Okay. If you intend to drink whiskey before the meal, whether you intend to drink whiskey during the meal or not, be careful not to drink a gazayas, which is a certain measurement, an amount equivalent to that displaced by an olive. Right? So don't drink too much whiskey before the meal, so that a concluding blessing is not required. But if you do drink a gazayas or more, it becomes a question whether a concluding blessing should be said. So again, we want to try to avoid these difficult situations and just have the wine during the meal or have the whiskey during the meal. Try to avoid having it before the meal. Thanks for listening. That was 847. The sponsor feature of Halacha is 36,100 for the gold. Have a wonderful evening. See you tomorrow.